This video is going to be explaining how you can get the grade that you want in this class and how you can avoid getting in trouble as well. How can you be successful? Our class is going to be working together to help every student succeed. I know all of you can do this, and so here's how we can do it. First of all, we're going to follow the social contract as you interact with other people. Follow the champs for your zone. We have 3 different work areas, 3 different sets of champs. Make sure you're following the champs for the one that is the area where you are. And since there are some people who are going to be working independently, taking like a test any given day, then you need to make sure that even when you're working together with a partner, that you keep your voice level low so that you can respect your classmates who are really trying to focus and do their best on a test or something like that. Stay focused on learning. Don't distract yourself or other people. It's going to be really easy for some of you to take the independent work where you get to choose what you're doing and you kind of pace yourself. It's going to be very easy for some people to get distracted with that. So work hard on keeping yourself focused and make sure you're not distracting yourself or anyone else. Listen and follow instructions. Ask for a repeat if you zoned out or didn't understand. When I am giving instructions to the whole class, make sure that you ask for clarification if you missed it. If it's a video, you can just go back and rewatch that part. But when it's live in class and I'm talking to you, I know there are times that I am in a meeting, I think I'm focused, I think I'm paying attention, and suddenly we're supposed to be getting up and doing something, and I missed some of the instructions, so I didn't know what we were to do. So make sure that if that's you, that you ask for help, ask for a repeat. Make sure you're turning everything in on Google Classroom. Even you're going to be able to work on paper a lot. Even if you do the work on paper, you need to take a picture of it and upload it to Google Classroom. That's where I grade it. That way I can grade it wherever I am. Right now I'm recording this video, waiting for my kids who are at a musical rehearsal. And so I need to be able to grade it anywhere in the world, basically. So I don't carry papers with you. Make sure you take a picture of it that I can read and post it on Google Classroom to turn in any assignment. Our social contract, like I said, it's important that we start there, following it. So a quick review of what the social contract is and is not. You all want to be treated well by your classmates, and they want to be treated well by you. The social contract explains what treated well means to all of us, because sometimes you might not be thinking the same thing as someone else. The social contract is not a decoration on the wall, not just to look good. It's not just to make me look good for Mr. Stubbs. There's lots of stuff Mr. Stubbs might like to see on my wall that might not make it there if there's something else more important. The social contract is not just a decoration to make me look good. It is not something that only I care about. You guys choose the words and what needs to be on here, and so you make it what you want it to be. It's something your classmates care about because they've helped saying, this is how I want to be treated. We are going to really use a social contract. The social contract is a goal that we're all going to work toward. None of us is perfect at all of these things, even me. I've had a lot more years of practice than you guys have, and I still need to work on almost all of those words sometimes. It's the way that we want to treat everyone who enters our room. Substitute teachers, other students, random people who walk in and need something. Anybody who's in the room needs to be treated following our social contract. And it's a tool that we'll use to help us grow and become better people. And I say us, not just you guys, but us. So make sure that you don't expect that it's just the students who have to follow this. I need to follow the social contract too. And so if there's a time when I'm not following it, I want you guys to remind me, it's not just me making you guys follow it. It's for all of us. If we're treating everyone well, following the social contract, then there's a few other things for academic success. Make sure that you ask questions to help you learn and look for answers. So questioning in your mind helps you take in the information. In your notes, textbook, videos, you get the information. If you have a question and you're pretty sure it was there, or you aren't sure, check your notes first. I had some students last year who had great notes, and then they come to the assessment and they would fail the assessment even though the information that they were needing was right there in their notes. Make sure you read your notes. Use those notes. And you can always check the textbook, even during an assessment or a test. And rewatching videos is always an option as well. Ask a classmate. So we'll have the 3 different work zones. If somebody's in the independent work area, that means they need to focus. So don't ask them. But you can ask anybody who's in the collaborative area if you are stuck and have a question. And if you're in the small group area with me, then of course you can ask me a question at that time. If you have a question for me and I'm working with someone else, or I'm busy doing something else, put your question for me in Classroom Queue. I will get to you as soon as I can. I'll teach you guys how to use Classroom Queue, but this is where you put your questions for me. I don't want you to have to sit there with your hand up for 5 minutes. I want you to be able to go on, and if you have a question that you can't go on through, then make sure you put that in the Classroom Queue, that you can't move on until you have that question answered. But for the most part, you're going to have a question. Maybe you can move on to the next part of your assignment and don't have to wait for that to be answered. So put a question for it in the Classroom Queue. I'll get to you as soon as I can. If it's the end of class, that way I can get to it over the evening and email you the answer or get to you first thing the next day. Make sure that you find a way you can learn best. Some people learn best by listening to information, hearing it. Some people learn best by seeing pictures or charts, graphs, looking at the visuals. If you can picture where the information was on the textbook page, that's probably you, you're a visual learner. Some people are more of a kinesthetic learner, where they have to talk it through or draw it out, think it through. Those might work. Figure out how you learn best and spend more time on the activities that are going to help you more. You're going to have a lot of different ways to learn the information. You choose which ones you spend the most time on. And if you get behind, you'll need to work at home or come in during lunch. Just talk to me and I will usually be available during lunch. Like I said, we'll have 3 different work areas. We'll have the collaboration area. That's where you can work with a partner. Sometimes it's required to work with a partner, like if you're processing your notes, I ask you to write down who your partner is and you should both have basically the same answers. And often it's optional, but if you're taking notes from the textbook, some people like to work better with a partner, some people will prefer to work on their own. Either way is fine, but you'd still be sitting in the collaboration area. Teacher group, I will call people over who need extra help or want help from me. Sometimes there'll be people who are ahead and ready for a new skill and ready for me to help them through something new. Sometimes there'll be people who are ready, who need to catch up, and I just want to help speed that along. Sometimes it's people who need help on an assignment because they're struggling to get it done. Like our DBQ writing, we're going to be doing a fair amount of writing, not every day, but every unit I'm hoping to write a little bit at least. And so some people might need a little more help with that, or with figuring out how to find information in a certain way. And then the solo work area. You will usually start as solo work and end each lesson, and at the end of the unit will be solo work. So there might be some days where solo work is the whole class. When we do the assessment at the end of the unit, it'll be whole class assessment that day. But if you're watching a video, generally videos are going to be independent work because I want to make sure that you're following along and not missing over something because of a neighbor, the friend you were working with. So watching videos, doing mastery checks, and assessments will all be solo work. And if we can do all those things, we've got this. Our classes will be working together, so you can see, asking questions of your neighbors, that kind of thing. But we're going to help every student succeed. You can get a good grade in here. I know that you can. You just got to put in the time and find the people to be your resources if you need it. Each of you then has an important part in making our whole class both fun and successful.